A properly basic belief has to do with
Is something do we derive properly basic beliefs? Can a properly basic belief be derived? Yes or no?
It is derived from our immediate experience that we cannot prove. Like, for example, a properly basic belief would be the belief that the physical world around me is real as opposed to an illusion. Another example of a properly basic...
we can derive that.
Okay, no, it is assumed because...
Right, it's assumed, exactly. So I'm assuming...
Okay, yeah.
So as a properly basic belief,
you know what,
that's an assumed belief.
Floyd, you're...
Well, I just refuted you. You just refuted yourself. You admitted it. You admitted that's assumed.
Okay, Floyd, one more time. A properly basic belief has to do with assumptions having to do with our...
Right, it's assumptions, right?
Okay,
unjustified assumptions.
Hey, do you mind not interrupting me?
Well,
you're doing this the whole freaking conversation, and you're rude.
No, I'm sorry. You're
rude.
You're not letting me get in the word edgewise.
No, I do. I have stopped many times. You're rude, Floyd. Excuse me for raising my voice, but I can't get the point across otherwise.
Well, I'm already explaining to you. You do not.
Why don't you shut up and stop interrupting me?
You're going down a rabbit trail. You don't need to go down.
Okay. You know what? Okay, Floyd. Okay.
You don't justify.
I think I've made my point with everybody here in the room. No matter what I say, Floyd is going to continue in this filibuster fashion. So, Floyd, I'm done, because not only are you filibustering...
Because you don't justify your presuppositions.
Floyd,
for you to claim that you can justify them, I'd like to know how you justify your presuppositions.
Floyd, I'm done with your filibustering and your obnoxious interruptions. I'm done with you. If there's anybody else in here who would like to interact with me, I'm here.
Okay, how about this? Real quick.
Okay, Floyd does not know how to have a conversation, nor does he know how to have a debate.
Okay,
no, you don't. You're rude and obnoxious.
I'm not going to let you go down
Okay, Floyd, I'm done. Got it? I'm done with you.
Real quick, please. Thank you. Real quick.
Please.
Wait, real quick. I just want to maybe keep this alive a bit more by making a point. Floyd, if he doesn't like to be interrupted so much, can you kind of refrain from doing that as much as he would wish you would, just so this can flow better?
Right. But he's asking me to justify a properly basic belief, and I'm trying to explain to him you cannot justify properly basic.
I did not ask you that, idiot.
Well,
I didn't say that.
I told you that the valid nature of logic is one of my properly basic beliefs.
Oh my God.
And yet you ask me, how do I know that? How do I know it?
And then he attributes it to me, and then he thinks he's going to get away with it. What a fucking liar!
Okay,
no,
so
you're asking me, how do I know?
Oh my God!
That my properly basic beliefs
I guess
are
from
true.
now on, what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to start my own room and start ejecting these people who are.
Okay, you're G-man.
Hey, hold on, Christopher, please.
You're asking me to justify my properly basic beliefs. And I told you they cannot justify
Floyd,
properly basic beliefs.
I didn't say that, you fucking liar.
Yes, you did.
You're a fucking liar.
Right, Floyd, hold on. Okay, can you...
Saying, how do I know?
You know what really pisses me off?
Define
when
knowledge.
Like you lie on the microphone.
Oh, yeah, define knowledge. What is knowledge to you?
You're such a fucking liar.
All right,
what is knowledge to you?
Okay, Floyd, I'm done with you. You're a fucking liar.
Okay, repeat yourself.
You asked me, how do I know that my properly basic beliefs are true?
Okay, Floyd, do you hear? I'm done with you. You're a lying
Then why are you
asshole.
still here then?
I'm responding and letting you know I'm done, lying asshole. You can laugh all you want. You're
real class act there. Real class act.
Yeah, you're a lying fucking asshole. And you want to know what it takes?
You're asking me, how do I know my properly basic beliefs are true?
Floyd.
So therefore, you're asking me to justify.
Okay. M. I'll tell you what. I'm tired of his bullshit. I'm going to leave. I will send an invite. If anybody else wants to engage with me, I'll be glad to do that. But I'm accustomed to this obnoxious filibustering when people lie on the internet the way they do. And then when you ask them,
what am I lying about? What did I actually lie about?
Oh, shut the fuck up, will you?
What What exactly was my lie? You asked me, how do I know my properly basic beliefs are true?
And you know, it never ceases
And
to
it seems
amaze
like,
me.
and
The game
are you claiming you don't
playing
start with
nonstop.
presuppositions in your worldview?
Okay, all right. Hey, Floyd, get one more time. Do you understand? I'm done answering you.
Then why are you keep on going?
Okay, Floyd, I'm done answering you.
Okay.
Floyd, you just wrecked this guy. He doesn't want to come to terms with it.
That was fucking awesome right there.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. Floyd, if you have a conversation with Darwins again, it
No,
might
no,
have
no,
to be
no. It won't happen again, M.
it might have to be in a formal debate style, not
No,
a
no, no. It
discussion.
won't.
Okay, Darwin, you're lost.
Never again. Never again will this happen again.
Yeah, and this is
Okay.
why the atheists have the reputation they do on the internet.
Yeah, okay. Go start.
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know what I lied about.
Screaming. I mean,
I mean, yeah, that was really classy. Calling him an asshole, like
Yeah,
raising
yeah.
his
When
voice
I
and
get
shit.
interrupted in
You
mid-
got
Your composure.
this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
here.
guys, please show a little more.
Okay, you know what, Em? I'm a bit disturbed, and I don't mean any offensiveness, that you haven't taken more control as the moderator. You should have put your foot down many more times.
Oh, you mean between you and Floyd?
I mean to people constantly interrupting. I would have, you know what happens in any social arrangement? If there are not consequences for bad behavior tends to proliferate.
Dude, you just ranted on and fucking cursed out Floyd like multiple times. I mean, like, what the, like, are you not applying this to your own
Okay,
behavior?
M, I'll tell you what. If you want to engage with me and others in future rooms, I will be setting up my own room as a moderator so that we can screen out this trollish behavior. I would recommend to you, M. I would suggest to you that if you want a room that flows well and where you have good debate, you've got to be more assertive as the room operator and moderator.
Okay. I think that's true.
yeah, M's only been running, successful Hangout for how the last week or so now. Go run
Yeah.
to your echo chamber. It's okay.
But the hangouts that I did are more conversational, and this was more debate-like,
Oh,
so
sure.
it's a little different than what I'm used to. But I get the point you're making, Darwin's. I don't know
Well,
what to say.
so are you in mid rage quit? Are you about to rage quit? Or like what's the case here?
Okay, since he's not going to talk, let me explain the game he was playing. We all start with, in worldviews, we all start with unjustified presuppositions. If you could justify them, they wouldn't be presuppositions. So, and that's what properly basic beliefs are. You cannot justify them. If you could justify them, then there would be previous presuppositions to justify them with. So they would be your properly basic beliefs. So we start with presuppositions and argue from there. Now, what he's saying is, how do you know the starting point? How do you know that the starting point of your epistemology is true? Well, what would I use to justify that? And by saying, how do you know? Well, that's knowledge is defined as justified true belief. So what he's asking me to do is he's asking me to justify my presuppositions, which is which you cannot do. And he won't even admit that in his own worldview that you have to start with presuppositions as well. So this is the standard presuppositional trick that presuppositionalists play, and I caught him on it, and you could see how furious he got. I had a presentation on presuppositional in the Deeper in Dogma, and I go over this very thing, and you can see what happens. So what you're doing, they're asking you to justify your very starting point in which you justify other things from, which obviously you cannot do unless pains of circularity.
Yeah, very well explained. It's just like in mathematics, it's like trying to justify an axiom when
Right,
by definition,
exactly.
an axiom is circular in its own nature.
Yeah. He doesn't. He's asking me to justify properly basic beliefs, and you can derive that there's a mind-independent reality. Well, how exactly are you going to derive that without assuming it?
Floyd, real quick, can I say, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just saying, if you are in a conversation with, well, I don't want to say someone, but maybe particularly Dawkins or Darwin, sorry. Okay, basically what I'm saying is this, that the points you're making are good, but if the person you're talking with, like, wants to leave, then you're not going to get to make your point. So all I would say is, like, exercise super patience possibly in the future to, like, cater the way you talk to the person, because if the whole argument blows up, then we won't even get to hear your points.
Yeah. Well, I was making the points, but they're loaded questions, and when I explained to him what the problem with the question is, he didn't like that. He just wanted me to answer it because he knew that it was going off his script. It was going off the argument, where he was leading it. And I cut straight to the chase, and you can do this with any presuppositionalist. What they're pointing out is that you have unjustified starting points, and they're going to ask you to justify them. You cannot justify your axioms. If you do so, well, you have to use them. If you're going to use your starting beliefs, you're arguing in a circle. And they will rightfully point that out to you. So you do not justify them. You cannot justify them unless you're going to be arguing in a circle. And that's the game the presuppositionalist is playing. I pointed out to him. He didn't like that, and he exploded.